Today on Running to Him.
When we fail to realize the power of wine, we become fools. Today we will read Esther and concentrate on chapter 1, verses 2 through 5 and 10 through 12. Esther chapter 1, verse 2 says, "In those days, as King Ahasuerus sat on his royal throne, which was at the citadel of Susa, in the third year of his reign, he gave a banquet for all his princes and attendants, the army officers of Persia and Media, the nobles and the princes of the provinces being in his presence. And he displayed the riches of his royal glory and the splendor of his great majesty for many days, 180 days. And when these days were complete, the king gave a banquet lasting 7 days for all the people who were present at the citadel in Susa, from the greatest to the least, in the court of the garden of the king's palace. And on the seventh day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Biztha, Harbona, Bigtha, Abagtha, Zethar and Carkas, the 7 eunuchs who served the presence of King Ahasuerus, to bring Queen Vashti before the king with her royal crown in order to display her beauty to the people and the princes, for she was beautiful. But Queen Vashti refused to come at the king's command and delivered by the eunuchs. And then the king became very angry, and his wrath burned within him. Now, for a number of reasons, Esther is an extremely interesting book. First, there is no mention of God's name in the book. Second, it is the only book of the Old Testament that's not found in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Thirdly, it takes place at a time in which the Jews had already returned to Jerusalem. Still, some went against Jeremiah and Isaiah's prophecies that they were to return after the exile. See Isaiah 48:20 and Jeremiah 50-8 and 51:6. And they remained in Persia. Next, the law is never mentioned in the book or any of the ceremonies such as sacrifice. Prayer is never mentioned in the book, although fasting is. And telling this story produced a religious festival, which is called the Feast of Purim, which in 2024 will be held March 23rd and 24th. Finally, the book was probably written in Judea and Samaria, telling of the events. It was not written for the Jews in the Persian Empire. Now we will examine the sins of 2 people today and tomorrow, and the righteousness of 1 person on the 3rd day. Ahasuerus is also known as Xerxes. Many hold that the reason that he was holding a party was because of his defeat by the Greeks at the Battle of Salamis in 480 BC. Just 10 years earlier, the Persian Darius had been defeated by the Greeks at the Battle of Marathon. Defeated kings were not well respected and many times lost their lives to revolts. So Ahasuerus threw a great party lasting 7 days to solidify his support and show his greatness. Interestingly enough, Esther's author writes that drinking wine was not mandatory. In chapter 1, verse 10, we are told that Ahasuerus, in a drunken stupor, sent for Queen Vashti so she could show off her beauty. Well, the inference is that she was to show up at the party wearing nothing but a crown. She refused, and as a result was deposed as queen. Ahasuerus sinned in getting drunk, and again when he asked the queen to disrobe in front of his mass of males. Had he read Proverbs, he would have realized that wine is a mocker and makes fools out of those who don't realize the power to destroy. Proverbs 21. And Proverbs 23, verses 29 through 34, says pretty much the same. It tells the story of those who partake of too much wine. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has contentions? Who has complaining? Who has wounds without a cause? And who has redness of eyes? Those who linger long over wine, and those who go to taste mixed wine. Do not look at the wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it goes down smoothly. At last it bites like a serpent and stings like a viper. Your eyes will see strange things, and your mind will utter perverse things. And you will be like one who lies down in the middle of the sea, or one who lies down on the top of a mast. Those who think they can control alcohol are playing with fire.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.